Welcome everybody to today's lesson. We're going to be talking about Walterrific and what happened to him in his low side crash. We're going to be talking about bike protection, rider protection, and what really needs to happen after the crash itself.
Woo! Just like the movies. Alright, I practiced for this. People are going to come by and ask if I'm okay.
If you're looking for a way to put your phone on the motorcycle, why don't you check out Rockform? Great product. I bought it myself and I use it every single day. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much to Walterrific for posting this video. This is very good for us to learn from. And this portion right here where it says number 1, number 2, number 3, all these different things, this was his own diagnosis of what happened. So I like the fact that he's taking responsibility, he's learning from it, and then he posted online for others to learn. So thank you once again, Walterrific. So right here he says he's daydreaming. Now daydreaming can play a huge role in whether or not you crash, okay? Remember, zoning in, do not zone out. Zone in, okay? So when we see up here, we have brake lights happening. Those brake lights, to me, is like a hazard. It's a game. I'm playing Frogger. I'm playing a video game. Okay, hazard, hazard, hazard. Boom, boom, boom. How do I fix this? How do I get around this? I'm doing all these things. Now, right here, at first, I see that he does have a really good space cushion, and he's actually moving off on the shoulder. In the other video we saw, and I see if I can put it right here, it looks like he's going about 53 miles per hour. Yes, 53 miles per hour. He talks about now moving up into here and then accelerating. So he didn't even think about the turn ahead. And a lot of times you don't think about the turn ahead. It kind of comes up on you a little bit later, and you'll kind of see where it says the curve in a certain mile per hour. You don't think about it, but here's the thing with off ramps, everybody, is that you're going to have some form of deceleration zone. That's what the off ramp is. It's almost like saying, let's not call it an on or off ramp. Let's call it an acceleration lane and a deceleration lane. So at all points inside this lane, let's start slowing down or maintaining our speed. So he went from 53 to 72. So this is the acceleration portion, and we're climbing, and it looks like we hit 91 at the most. So 91 miles an hour, he didn't slow down until right towards the end, okay? I love his emojis. He slowed down by engine braking and a little bit of actual braking. You see how it jumped from 90 to 73 very quickly? Sometimes that's not enough, though. That really isn't. And he woke up from his daydream and realized he doesn't have enough room to slow down. Now, this is the reaction portion. So search, evaluate, execute. So he wasn't searching. Last second, it came up to him. The curve came up to him. Boom, that was his quick search, and then he did a very quick evaluate. So he's evaluating whether or not he can slow down or turn or whatever it is, and he's saying right now, obviously after the fact in the editing process, that he didn't have enough room to slow down. But I have a good feeling that that is what he thought of at that moment. Now, everybody, you can take these turns at this speed. It's just that we need to start committing, okay? We need to commit to these turns. We need to commit, because crashing or dropping the bike should not be an option, because then you open yourself up to damage to you, damage to the bike, and then maybe even some legal issues. So let's really, really work hard on our emergency skills, okay? Let's work on how to counter steer. Let's work on body positioning and everything so that we can make these turns even at a mess up. I guess that's how we can say it, is that he messed up and he evaluated the turn a little bit late. Engine braking is what's going to slow him down here, but I hear a lot of people saying, well, maybe trail braking. Okay, well, trail braking is more of an advanced skill. If you had that skill, it could play a very good role in this. So Walterrific, I saw that he was taking an MSF class or a beginner class. Great live stream. He actually showed it for everybody. He's doing an amazing job supporting motorcycle safety and the message that it brings. So he actually took a class, but maybe he can take some more. Maybe take an advanced class and learn a little bit about trail braking. Therefore, he can apply that tool to this situation right here. But he was going a little too fast, you know, there it is, a little bit too fast. Now that we're at the spot where there's no edits, let's go ahead and move forward just a little bit. You see the rumble strips on the side of the road. Now those, you're going to have a little bit less attraction just because they have to be divoted in, they have to be, you know, cut out. And that right there is to let you know, hey, you're going off the road. I think it's pretty obvious that that's what's happening here, but quite possibly you see how it's starting to dump also with the front brake. His hand's on the front brake, but he's starting to dump right there with the loss of traction and application of the front brake. Okay, so this is what you call a low side. And if you notice, his right arm hit the ground first. That is a very good reason to have protection for ourselves. Remember, at GAT, all the gear, all the time, everybody. So thankfully he had full gear, so this is going to minimize a lot of the impact and a lot of the risk that he's actually having when it comes to a low side like this. Also, sliding off into the grass definitely helps. But if you notice, real quick while I go back, your trunk and your back, your bottom and your back more specifically, is going to have abrasions. So this is why a lot of motorcycle pants have aramid fibers like Kevlar and a bunch of others, high heavyweight denim, all these different things. In the buttocks area, it's supposed to reduce the heat transfer from the road and reduce abrasion damage. But his back also, that's why you have back protection, and that's why they have abrasion resistance on the back. You're going to have a little bit of a roll. He did very good on that one. And here's the thing. If you can kind of notice, and he even talks about it later, he does have engine guards on his bike. Okay, so having bike protection is very important because crap happens. Okay, this can happen to you. It can happen to anybody. But having the necessary mitigation to this risk is very important. So having bike protection and then rider protection is very good. So after a crash like this, you're going to want to check your bike. Okay, just because you have engine guards and everything, it could be perfectly fine. But you don't know if your forks are messed up. You don't know if your tire got damaged. You don't know any of that stuff. So doing an after ride check is very important. And the best way you can do that is just do T-clocks. Okay, I talk about T-clocks all the time, but do a really good thorough one. And then if you're going to be riding home after something like this, take it easy. Okay, really take it easy. And if you still feel out of sorts on this, make sure you get some roadside assistance. That way they can tow your bike home and you can do a proper check later on when your adrenaline is down. That way you don't miss anything. But I like the fact that there's some good Samaritans out here. And if you don't hear it in the video because I muted his volume, that way I can talk. But if you want to watch his full video, right here he's telling somebody how to help him lift the bike. Now that is very important because you do not want to have a bystander grabbing a rotor or part of the tire or even in the engine case, because then now they can have second and third degree burns. And now we're having more of an issue. For me, it's an issue because I do not want to ever hurt anybody, especially if they come to help. You don't want to bite somebody in the butt like that. All right, so we're going to move forward a little bit. He asks for a little bit of help just to get it up, and then he's going to move it up. He's telling him to get his hand on that rear fender and help him lift it up. Now, there's no shame in getting help because you're just in a crash. It's actually very good. He's going to put his side stand down, but he's like, we're in the grass. I don't know if I should do that. It might sink in. So what he's going to do is he's actually going to push it up. Now, remember, bikes are very heavy, and boom, we got it up here. Now, at this point, you want to double check absolutely everything that has happened to you, okay? Side stand down. Make sure you put the side stand down because I've seen people, after a crash, not think about it, drops their bike again. Not good. He's also putting himself as far away from the road as possible. Remember, he was just in a crash during this turn. Who knows? Maybe a car driver is going to target fixate on the fact that Walterrific is on the side of the road and boom, plows into him. This happens a lot with police officers and fire personnel. You're going to have people not paying attention, target fixate, and hit you. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye out for any oncoming traffic, and I see that he's doing that here. So he's checking his bike, doing a really quick T-clocks. He sees that his engine guards took the brunt of it. That is a huge reason why you need to have bike protection. He's checking his hands, checking everything. Everything looks fine. And there's more and more of this within his video. This is the reason why we need to have bike protection, rider protection, and then to do an after crash check, okay? You don't want to have a second crash when you're on your way home after this, okay? So keep yourself safe, keep yourself protected, wear your gear, and give some gear to your bike. It's your baby, right? If you would like to know what to do after a motorcycle crash and possibly save somebody's life, make sure you go to accidentscene.org and sign up for their online class. This is a great opportunity and a great way for you to learn what to do, how to do it, and then possibly save somebody's life.